बस नेड़े नेड़े वे ढोला बस नेड़े नेड़े वे ढोला सानू हरदम तेरियां लोड़ां दुनिया दे विच सजना बाजो
I was born in a small village, but that is famous for first revolutionary was from my village, from India, Maharaj Singh, who challenged the English people. So small village has a distinguished history. When I was very small, my auntie, my father's sister, and my uncle was Inspector General of Prisons in Patiala. He adopted me because they had no child. When I was small child, they sent me to a school. On that day, on that very day, teacher slapped a girl, and I started crying loudly. They sent me home. Then I said, I don't want to study at all. Whenever they asked me to go to school, I started crying. My Fufaji, uncle, he said, let her not study if she doesn't want to. 1 year passed, 2nd year passed. Then my auntie said, her grandfather will take her away because he will say, I haven't given my granddaughter to you to keep her uneducated. Then they said, my uncle said, we can engage a teacher at home. A very nice lady they engaged. She came, she said, we won't study. We will be telling stories, we will be gossiping. And I said, she started telling me little stories, interesting stories. After 13, 14 days, she didn't come. She said, I'm ill. After waiting 1 day, next day I said, I want to go to Panji's house. I went there and there were so many books in her house. I said, you are ill, what about my stories? She said, if you can learn to study, you can read the stories. I said, then teach me. Then she started teaching. After teaching alphabet book, then she said, let's learn a little bit of arithmetic. After 1 year, she got me examined for 5th class. I passed. And she said, Victoria School is just near my house. Every day your coachman will leave you and you can come to my house. My mother, Bibbeji, and she went to Victoria School. There was principal Bengali, Miss Sen. Within 1 year, as I had passed 5th class, I was very small. Frock ja paya hai, gutniyan ja kittiyan hoiyan. Principal said, no, she is too small for 6th class. My mother said, she is just small, but her age is quite big. She is 10 years, 11 years old. She just, nobody bothered certificate, anything. instead of 8, she wrote there 11. ठीक है, चले गए. उस तो बाद my main interest in that school was studying books from the library. When I was in 10th class, there was a male teacher. We came to know that he has passed 3rd MA and he has got first in university. Before he comes to the class, I just wrote on a chit, "Sir, we are proud of you." He came in the class, looked at everybody, then in a stern voice, "Have you written this?" I said, "Yes, sir." He said, "I also want to be proud of you." And he started teaching. That sentence, when I wrote books, when I got a Sahitya Academy Award, there came telegrams and messages, and there came a postcard. It was written from that professor, "I'm proud of you." Then, after doing BA, I said I will do IAS, Indian Foreign Service. At Delhi University, I joined MA History and Law, double course, and started living in a hostel. Here, a principal of Mahindra College was known to my uncle. He said, "What is your daughter doing?" He said, "She is doing double MA and she will do IAS." He said, "Your daughter is quite thin. She will die with this much burden." And my uncle became so terrified. He wrote me, "Come back." I said, "No, I have paid fees, both the side and hostel, and everything is okay, nothing will happen." Then he went there. He said, "I don't know how long I am going to live. You have left me so early." At that time I decided to go back. I came back to Patiala. Then my uncle asked me, "What do you want to do?" I said, "Nothing." Then my uncle went to that principal. He said, "Easiest MA, which is subject is?" He said, "Punjabi." My uncle filled the form, paid the fees, and got the roll number and came home and said, "Beta, from tomorrow you are going to study Punjabi MA." I was shocked because I wanted to be IAS officer. When I was studying college boys came to me that give something for college magazine. I said, "I have not written anything, ever." They said, "You write." They just wanted to come to me again and again with the pretext of asking for an article. I just one day wrote that a people tree is telling to children a story. How girls come to hear how this chidiyan, panchi, gaane gande si. He tells these things. I gave them. Principal read that article. He called me to his office. He said, "Your story is very good. जो और भी लिखी है ना वो भी मेरे को दिखा." I said, "I haven't written any." He said, "If you haven't written, write a story every week." I couldn't dare to refuse him. I was so caught that every week is story. I just ऊट पटांग जियां stories लिख के उन्हें एक दे आनी. After 10-12 stories, he said, one day our PN came He said that the clerk says she has got a merit scholarship. Total money is there in the office. Principal said, with that money we can publish your book. I said, no. Principal said, we can do this. Some stories I will put my and some yours. We will publish a combined book. मैं कहा, no. He said, why? मैं कहा, my good stories will be thought of yours and your bad will be thought of mine. I was so stupid and ignorant and innocent. जो mind च आंदा वही कह देंदे. He started laughing. He said, no, तेरी कल्ली दियां ही छापांगे. ਉਹਨੇ ਉਹ ਕਿਤਾਬ ਕਹਾਣੀਆਂ ਜਿਹੀਆਂ ਇਕੱਠੀਆਂ ਕਰਕੇ he published the book and he wrote 5-6 lines forward. Last line of that forward was, one day she will be a great writer and I will be no more. So that's how I became story writer. There are many reasons that have revolutionized Punjabi life. Literature is reflecting that life. First, reality have changed a lot after English people's invasion. Our famous writer, women writer is Amrita Pritam. Amrita Pritam wrote many things about the liberation of women, that she should be ajad, she should be allowed to do whatever she wants to do, she should be allowed to live as she wants to live. She just, as I used to put, पिछला पैर चुक लिया उसने, अगे उन्होंने पता नहीं सी कित्थे रखना. Its revolution is when you discard the old and adopt the new and better one. But this is deviation, when you discard the old and you don't know where to go. So once they asked me to prepare a syllabus for MA classes. I just go on thinking, how can I prescribe this book, that book, this book, that book? Then I told them in sections. I said, in school, through literature, language should be taught. There should be proficiency in language. In BA, through language, literature should be taught. And in MA, through literature, philosophy should be taught. Philosophy doesn't mean the philosophy which we subject, we teach. No, philosophy of life. I think women have got some misconceptions about freedom. They think we are equal, but they forget they are not the same. Here comes the confusion. They are equal, they should be equal, but not the same. So when nature has made them different, they should accept difference. And I think before anything else, in our society, maybe in other societies also, people categorize women according to relationship. She is wife, she is sister, she is mother. First of all, she should be treated as human being.
Yeah.
ਬਸ ਨੇੜੇ